Hey guys, what is going on? This is Panzer Dragon, and I had a thought today that many of you guys actually have said a lot in the comments where I've read, so many times. I don't know how much times I've seen it, but basically, I asked myself, after a series of events, how am I challenger? How have I gotten to 700 LP, despite playing Soraka, I know, but regardless, I questioned myself, how am I even in this elo? I've been reviewing some of the shit when I do my Challenger series, and, I see the mistakes I make, and I actually question myself, how am I Challenger? And I look at the other players around here, and I'm like, why don't they make the same mistakes? How am I on the same level as them? I've said it before, I always get carried, which implies I have incredible luck, but, luck can only go so far, and apparently, my average roaming elo is going to be around 400 LP, and I find it very interesting that I roam around this LP. Because I look at some of my games, I'm like, holy shit, I fed there. Holy shit, how do I feed that hard? And, sometimes I win, but most of the time I actually lose, I think. And some of the mechanical plays, I'm just like, what the fuck? How did I make that mistake? That actually makes me mad looking at how I made that mistake. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know why I'm in this ELO. I guess, I'm speaking like this because I just fed super hard in the game, and then, some games are easier, but most of the time you see me being carried. And I'll be honest here, you guys know I will dominate. I actually think he's a better jungler than me, but he's lower LP than me for whatever reason. I don't actually know why. Well, for a majority of time he was. Sometimes I'm higher, sometimes I'm lower, of course, but I think about it, and whenever I'm on an off roll, I suck, except for support. That's not really an off roll, that's my secondary role. But when I played mid, top, or AD carry, sometimes you just see me feed so hard, and I look at other challenger players and they don't feed as hard. Sometimes they actually know what they're doing in their role. Sometimes I think master players are even better than me. Okay, not low masters, high masters. I even feel some of the high master junglers are better than me at jungle because they can carry harder, so I just play like an off roll, and I'm like, ooh, it's a good idea to actually let this guy jungle. But I'll be honest here, I feed more, at least I think I do, than the average challenger player, and it's very interesting to see that. I feel like other challenger players around me actually are better in their off roles and don't suck as much, but the amount of feeding I do is so much that I'm just like, do I belong as CLO? Obviously there are some games where I pop off and do really well and, carry somewhat, which I guess is something that I can do, but sometimes I even lose the Diamond 1 junglers and I'm just like, oh, that sucks, and obviously sometimes I win, and then when I get paired up with a high master jungler or even a challenger jungler, it's the same percentage. Obviously I do better against Diamond 1s, but it's interesting to see that sometimes they do actually better than me, and I'm just like, oh, I got out jungled by Diamond 1. Feels bad. And even when I'm in my jungle role, sometimes I just do so bad, I'm like, fuck, I suck. How am I here? A challenger player should not be sucking this much. At least that's what I see from other challenger players, I think. Maybe not, I don't know. And obviously some of the high elo players actually think I suck, but the other half actually don't think I suck. So it's mixed reviews and mixed opinions. If I were a movie review, I'd probably get a 5 out of 10. And also something that holds me back is my mechanics. It actually sucks so much, and it somewhat holds me back. I didn't always used to be this mechanically bad. I actually used to be somewhat decent. I played Lee Sin back in the day. I played Elise. Well, actually I still do. Anyways, the point is I actually played high skill mechanical champions before, but now I don't. I kind of know the reason behind that is because my ping back in the day used to be 100 in season 4 and 3 or something like that, and I think it was an internet provider service being shit. So for a while I had 100 ping, and I had to play a new style called the predictive style instead of reaction, where I just predict what people will do next and I'll just use the skill shot because my ping is going to be a little bit behind, so I can't reactively outplay someone. And now that I have better ping, I don't do the reactive thing anymore because I'm kind of used to the prediction style. And also generally in ranked, I'm a very safe player, so unless I know 100% I can get a kill, then I'll do it. Otherwise, if it's not above 80% or 90%, I probably won't do it. But yeah, that's also one of the reasons why my mechanics suck. The other reason is I just suck with the champion I play, I think. But yeah, I don't think I should be as bad as I am in some roles or even in my jungle role, and I should always be performing to a certain standard. But of course I am playing against other people who main the role, so it's sort of understandable because my off roles are at a D3 level. My main role is apparently challenger level. I don't know. My Soraka is apparently challenger level. I mean, I have a I have a positive win rate on her. But yeah, I don't know. Today, like, obviously, I just came off like a feeding game, and I don't feel like I belong in this elo at all. Like, some of the plays, I just feel they're just super lucky plays, and it just turned out to be pretty good. But yeah, you guys can comment below on why you think I'm challenger, or even how I got there, because, oh yeah, and don't say I was lucky, because that's very I can't be lucky to stay around this elo for 300 games, but there must be some reason. I actually don't know why. Now, obviously, when I play jungle, I can hold my own against other junglers, or sometimes I just go incredible feed mode, but you know, it's interesting. But I actually pondered in my head, and then I pondered so much that I'm like, okay, maybe I gotta get this question answered. So I asked some master and challenger players around me. I won't say their names, but I asked them, honestly, do you think I deserve challenger? And this is what the high master tier player said. He said, no, I mean, if you're there for a reason. If you can consistently perform, you deserve. So when I dropped out of challenger in 2 days, I know I didn't deserve it. When I was like 300 LP, I wasn't playing better than other players. I just got the better team. I would get outclassed, but still win because my teammates played well. And I asked him what he meant by outclassed, and he said outclassed not mechanically, but my macro wasn't as strong as other players out there. And I do agree my macro is like decent. What that means is, well, you guys know, it's a StarCraft term, where you gotta manage your units and like base managing. Actually, it's kind of different in this game, basically. Knowing what to do in certain situations, like taking objectives, knowing when to take the tower, like for instance, the knowledge of taking Baron or taking a tower is really good, and a good understanding of when and when not to do it is super good. And things like vision control, warding, etc., those are all macro elements. It's all the boring shit that no one really cares about when you're watching a video, and I think that's one of my strong points is my macro game. I kind of understand of how to play the map in certain scenarios. So essentially what I do is I lead my team to victory in a sense, and I know how to win the game, which is sort of true. I'm confident on knowing how to win the game usually. There's still little things I don't see that we could possibly do to win even faster, but I mean, I'm not perfect in the macro game, but you know, being a shot caller, that's what you got to be good at, is the macro game, rotations and all that, you know, fun stuff. Like whenever I say, oh, we get the Baron, guess what happens next? We win the game. It's because usually in high elo, once you get the Baron, it's very hard to throw unless your team doesn't know how to play with that Baron, and you don't even push your lead, then yeah, the game's still not over and throws are imminent. One thing I do notice from lower master tier players and diamonds is they're a little bit less coordinated, and they like to do random shit around the map, which is unnecessary to winning the game, which has a risk of throwing the game and getting a small lead. But I've said this a lot of times, if you get a kill and you can't get an objective off it, then the kill is somewhat worthless. Like, there's not a lot of times I throw, I think. There's more times I feed for sure. But yeah, maybe my macro is my strong point, I guess. But now a high challenger player said this about me in his opinion. Nah, I've seen games where you've popped off or solo carry, which is okay, cool. Then I said, yeah, but usually whenever I'm with you, I always feed. And he said a good amount of the time, but I've seen you do well, so I just assumed some unlucky curse, which means I just feed whenever I'm with him. And I said I don't believe in Mythbusters, but I'm like, yo, are you sure? I'm pretty sure I feed like more averagely than other challenger players. And he said, if you say that other challenger players don't feed, you're mistaken, lol. Everyone does, not a single soul doesn't. I can't say that word. So I guess I'm challenger because I don't suck as much as I think I do. So maybe I am challenger for a certain reason. But hey, that's just a theory. Well, actually, it's not gonna be a theory once you see what happens in the next season of Season 7, and maybe actually see how I climb from Platinum 1, I guess. But honestly, at the start of the beginning of the season, you'll see a lot of players who were like in Challenger before, so maybe you'll see how it actually works and how I climb. Well, not really, because I'll be skipping some divisions, but once you have high MMR, well, climbing becomes really easy. So make sure you watch the Season 7 rank series to see what happens, of course. And you know, right now, in my rank series, the rank 1, there is absolutely no way in my possible form, because I am not in my final form, so rank 1 is impossible at the moment, and there's still a lot of learning I have to do before that is possible. So I'm going to say right now, I can't get rank 1, but I want to see where I can get for my LP before the season ends, and maybe we'll go to the Scouting Grounds event for, you know, a vacation, I mean a chance at the LCS. But in all honesty, talking about that again, I think the Scouting Grounds is actually not going to do shit for people. I'm going to be straight up. I think anyone who goes there will not be recruited at all, because there's such an established pro scene at the moment, and all the pro players who are in the challenger scene or whatever already have some sort of status in the pro scene. So why pick these Scouting Ground players when you can pick these players who have competitive experience? But that's my opinion about the whole event, and maybe it won't happen, but that's what I think is going to happen. Anyways, I guess the conclusion I can come up with is I'm in Challenger because I'm somewhat consistent, and I know how to play when I'm ahead, and not really sometimes when I'm behind, but sometimes I do. Anyways, this video is too long. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did like this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you didn't, make sure to subscribe. Anyways, I am Panzer Dragon, and I'll see you guys next time.